Okay, let's move on to skill number 4. Be careful with present participles. Okay, probably this is gonna be something totally different from what you already knew. I mean, like the things that the things that you know about present participle. Okay, so this is skill number 4. Be careful with present participle. You're gonna see that the present participle is the ing form of the verb of a verb. For example, talking, playing. In the structure section of the TOEFL test, present participle can cause confusion because uh, it can be either a part of a verb or an adjective. If it's a part of a verb, it is preceded by some form of the verb be. Okay, and then the man example, the man is talking to his friend. In this example, is talking. We're talking about a verb. In this sentence, talking is part of the verb because it's accompanied by is. Okay, let's see more examples. A present participle is an adjective when it is not accompanied by some form of the verb be. For example, the man talking to his friend was the man talking to his friend has a beard. So in this case, talking is an adjective that describes the subject. Okay, got it? In this sentence, talking is an adjective and not part of the verb because it is not accompanied by some form be, some form of be. The verb in this sentence is has. The following example shows how a present participle can be confused with the verb in the structure section of the TOEFL test. Example, can you read the example, Carlos?
Yeah. The child playing in the yard is my son. Okay.
Okay, so what is the correct answer?
Now, okay.
The child
Now playing in the yard is my son.
the child now playing in the yard is my son. Why do you choose now?
Because I was looking for an adjective. So is can be an adjective, nor he, nor was. So the only available option is
And you already have a verb, no?
yes. You already
You already have a verb.
yes. You're right.
So in this case, you don't need verb. You don't need a
Yeah.
verb because you already have a verb in the sentence. So you have a subject, the child now playing. This is gonna be like the adjective or is describing the subject. Okay, because as I told you at the beginning of the course, sometimes the subject can be complex, elaborate with so many adjectives. So in this case, an adjective is accompanying the subject. Now is the best answer. So letter A, the best answer here is letter A. Congratulations. Very good. Now, present participle. The following chart outlines what you should remember about present participle. A present participle is the ing form of the verb. The present participle can be 1, part of the verb, or an adjective. If it's part of a verb, the verb, when it's accompanied by some form of the verb be, it is an adjective when it's not accompanied by some form of the verb be. Example, number 1, the boy is standing in a corner. That is what? Verb or adjective?
Standing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an adjective.
That's a verb because it has a verb. It has a verb. Yeah, it's part of the verb. And the number 2, the boy standing in the corner was naughty. Okay, so here is the number 2. The number 2, I'm gonna highlight it in color yellow. So this ing form of the verb is for an adjective. Exercise number 4. Each of the following sentences contain one or more present participles. Underline the subjects once and the verbs twice. Circle the present participles and label them as adjectives or verbs. Okay, in this, I'm going to pause the recording now so that the person watching the recording might be able to do the exercise on his own and later compare the correct answers. Okay, so I'm going to give you some time to get done this exercise, to get this exercise done, and then we'll be back. Okay, it's time to show you the answers. And so we've come up with this following solutions, with the following solutions for this exercise number 4. The the words highlighted in green are the verbs. The words highlighted in purple or pink are the adjectives. So whatever is marked in color red is unnecessary. So that means that the exercise or the sentence is wrong because it's extra. Example in the number 4, are giving. You don't need are because giving is in the role of an adjective. So the fraternities giving the wildest parties attract the most new pledges. In the number 6, you don't need was because the speakers trying to make this point doesn't need the auxiliary was or the verb was because there's already another verb was interrupted. The number 9, the advertisements were announcing is not necessary to have were because you already have the verb receive. Okay, let's move on to the exercise number 5 or skill number 5. Be careful of past participles. Can you help me to read the definition of this, please, Carlos?
Past participles can cause confusion in the structure section of the TOEFL test because a past participle can be either an adjective or a part of a verb. The past participle is the form of the verb that appears with have or be. It often ends with ed, but there are also many irregular parts, past participles in English. See appendix insert. Example: the family has purchased a television. The poem was written by Paul. Okay.
Very good. In these two types of verb forms, where the auxiliary is has or was, we need the participle form of the verb. For example, purchase and written are forms of the past participle of the verb. Okay, but in some other examples, we have also that this participle can be used as an adjective. Okay, so that's what we need to differentiate. When is it being used as an adjective and when it's being used as a verb. In the first sentence, the past participle purchase is part of the verb because it's accompanied by has, the auxiliary has. In the second sentence, the past participle written is part of the verb because it's accompanied by was. So it's easy to identify when you see these auxiliaries, has or was. A past participle is an adjective when it's not accompanied by some form of be or have. For example, the television purchased yesterday was expensive. The poem written by Paul appeared in the magazine. So here written is right after the subject, and this will be an adjective describing this subject in more detail. In the first sentence, purchase is an adjective rather than a verb because it's not accompanied by a form of the verb be or have. And there is a verb, was, later in the sentence. In the second sentence, written is an adjective rather than a verb because it's not accompanied by a form of verb be or have. And there is a verb, appear, later in the sentence. The following example shows how past participle can be confused with the verb in the structure section of the TOEFL test. Example. Can you tell me to read the example, Carlos?
The packages mailed at the post office will arrive on Monday. And the answer is just letter D.
Letter D. Okay, thank you very much. Answer D is the best answer to this question. Very good. In this example, you look only at the first few words of the sentence. It appears that package is the subject and mail is either a complete verb or a past participle that needs a helping verb. But if you look further in the sentence, you will see that the verb will arrive is there, no? So you will recognize that mail is a participial adjective and therefore not part of the verb. Answer A and B are incorrect because mail is an adjective and does not need a helping verb, such as have or work. Answer C is incorrect because there is no need for the object them. So we don't need any object. So that's correct. The letter D is the correct answer. So this is the key concept chart. Past participle. A past participle often ends with the ed form, but there are also many regular past participles for many verbs. including ed verbs, the simple past and the past participle, are the same and can be easily confused. Okay, so the regular verbs are the same for past and past participle. The ed form of the verb can be the simple past or the past participle of the verb, or an adjective. Example. Can you help me to read example number 1, Carlos?
She painted the picture. That's right. She painted this picture.
Very good. Number 2.
She has painted this picture. Number 3.
Number 3.
The picture painted by Karen is now in a museum.
So notice how this exact verb form can be used for simple past, participle form, in an adjective. In this first example, is simple past. And the second is a past participle form, but it's exactly the same. The only thing that you need to be aware of is the auxiliary has, or the helping verb, has painted. And the meaning changes radically. Okay? Pintó, ha pintado. The picture painted, la foto pintada por Karen, is now in a museum. Okay, so you should be aware of these 3 different forms of this usage of past participles. Okay, this can cause confusion. Let's do the exercise number 5 together. So I'm going to give you some time to answer, and then we're coming back with the answers. Okay? These are the answers. Okay, number 1 is incorrect. Number 2 is correct, but those are the sample sentences. Number 3 is incorrect because there is no need of the auxiliary verb or the helping verb were. Taught is the adjective, not the main verb. The main verb is will be. Number 4 is correct. Number 5 is incorrect because there is no need of the auxiliary or helping verb were, since reach is an adjective, not a verb. The main verb is were. Number 6 is correct. Number 7 is incorrect, since is not necessary, since we have serve as the adjective, not as a verb, and is the main verb. Number 8 is incorrect because are is not necessary, since we have listed as the adjective rather than a verb. The main verb is have, and that's it. Those the rest of the sentences are correct. Let's move on ahead and see the exercise. The first mini test is an exercise that summarizes the skills 1 through 5. You're gonna have these are just 10 questions. So you're gonna have about, take your timer. You should answer this exercise in no longer than 5 minutes. So if it's 10 questions, you should spend 30 seconds the most for each of the answers. Okay, so let's set up the timer for just 5 minutes, and let's check your answers. So this is the answer key of the exercise on page 138. As you can notice, the ones highlighted in green are the correct answers. So there's no need to make any corrections, since we can notice a verb where we can hold from. For example, for the 3 weeks at the beginning of the semester, students with fewer than the maximum number of units can add an additional courses. There's no problem here. There's no issue. We didn't stumble here. Number 2, on her lunch hour went. But if you notice here, even though I have the verb, there's no subject that this a particular verb can be conjugated with. For example, on her lunch hour, what, who? It's saying nothing here. So you need a subject. So number 2 is incorrect. You need a subject. Number 3, the fir trees were grown. There's no need for were, since grown is an adjective, not a verb. The verb is were harvested. Number 4, in the group of the overripe oranges were falling, we have the subject, we have the verb, the auxiliary or the helping verb were with the verb ing form falling. That's correct. Number 5 is incorrect, since being is not necessary. Deliver is a verb in a role or a function of an adjective, not a verb. And then will contain is the main verb. The verb with the auxiliary or helping verb will. Number 6, a specialty shop with various blends from around the world. Here, the problem is that here we don't have the verb to be conjugated with. A specialty shop with various blends from around the world. All of these is the subject, but the problem here is I don't have a verb, okay, to conjugate the subject with. Number 7. So number 6 is incorrect. Number 7, the portraits exhibited in the Houston Museum last month are now displayed in Dallas. This is correct. Number 8, with a sudden jerk of his hand. True is a verb, but there's no subject I can conjugate this verb with. And finally, number 9, construction of the housing development. It will be underway. There's no need for the it as a subject because I have construction of the housing development. That is the subject. And finally, those applicants returning the completed forms at the earliest date have. All of these before have is the subject, have is a verb, and the highest priority is a predicate. Okay, homework. As homework, we're going to do TOEFL exercise. This is the structure or the template, the type of exercise that you'll see in the TOEFL. And this will review your 5 skills, skills 1 through 5. Try to do this exercise. It's only 10 questions. Try to do it in no longer than 5 minutes. That's super important. Try to do it in no longer than 5 minutes. It's about 30 seconds per each exercise. Once you're ready to answer the exercise, set up your timer for 5 minutes and answer this exercise, TOEFL exercise. And tomorrow, hopefully, I'll see you for the sentences with multiple clauses with a skill 6, 7, and 8 if possible. Okay, guys, that's it for now. Thank you for being here and have a pleasant afternoon. I'll see you tomorrow.